down.
What's up, you guys? I got Dell with me today, and we're going to talk about 19.3. We just finished the workout. That kind of sucked, and we're going to talk about what we did wrong, what we thought about it, and see if we can give you guys some tips and information. So here we go. How'd it go?
Like always, not as planned, but it was good. The lunges were harder than I thought.
Yeah.
And the box jumps felt like an eternity, or the box step-ups.
Yeah.
Felt like an eternity. And certainly those strict handstand push-ups felt harder than I thought they were going to.
For sure.
Getting up onto the wall. But yeah, it was good. It was a good test. I think it was a great test. What do you think?
Well, let's talk about how it went for you. I mean, it burned, right? My quads were burned in the beginning. The lunges,
Yeah.
they were hard. It was kind of hard to hold about the weight overhead, but I think that if you find a good position, good lockout overhead, you can kind of stabilize pretty well. I think some people, if the weight is heavy for you, right, it's going to take a little bit of control overhead. If the weight is on the light, moderate side, you're going to feel it all in your quads, right? It's just kind of depend on how you move. Flexibility is going to be a part of it too, right?
Yeah,
So flexibility, you find out that we got some athletes that are a little tight overhead. They're having a hard time locking that movement overhead, and you can see some instability there. They find themselves kind of stopping. They had to maybe scoot back a little bit to repeat a section of 5 feet. And then some of the athletes we have, they're pretty flexible. It was all in the quads, right? You can feel it. They lock out really good. They can stay stable, but they feel it on the quads a lot. So I think that to depend on your flexibility and how you can handle the weight overhead is going to make a big difference, right?
Yeah, it felt like later in those rounds of the laps that we were doing, it kind of got a little bit of a tempo and a pace to it.
Yeah.
But I kind of learned, okay, it's 9 steps, and it's 9 steps at this depth, right? Like this is how deep the steps need to feel to get me all the way over the line.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the worst is if you come up to that line and you're 6 inches short, right? And you have to make that one extra step.
Yeah.
So it took me a couple of times to really feel that. So if I was going to do it again, maybe I'd spend a little more time practicing to get that feel down before, so I didn't have to waste that 1 or 2 extra steps.
Yeah, I think that you have 5 foot sections, right? But they're 25 at a time. And I think you got to commit to 25, right? Okay, So if you're going to go, commit to 25, make sure you stay tight, push through it. If you need a break or rest, right? Rest up to 25 feet, sit it down if you need to, and then go from there. But the worst thing you can do is stop in the middle, right? Or try to switch, you got to go back, right? It's just going to mess you up. So if you're not ready, if you feel like you need some rest, stop before you start that 25 foot length. And then I think you should be good. Right?
Yeah.
If the weight is heavy overhead for you, just take your time, I guess, and rest a little more. Again, if it's heavy, you're gonna have a hard time with stability. If it's light, it's all gonna be on the quads. How long it took you to do the lunges?
I think the lunges were right around 3 minutes. Because I remember putting the dumbbell down at the end of the lunges and thinking, man, Chelly and Fisher were almost done with all the box step-ups.
I know,
It took them 4 minutes, and
Yeah.
I was 3 minutes, and I was just finishing the lunges.
Yeah.
So it was about 3 minutes.
Yeah. Now, before we move on to the next movement, I feel like no matter what, most people, what the goal is, because you have some tiebreakers, right? Tie break. So you want to make sure that push to the beginning. I think that the only reason why you pace yourself is if the weight is too heavy for you, but you're still doing prescribed and you need to slow down to control the movement, you're going to have to. But if you know that, you're pretty consistent with the weight, you got to push through it, finish as fast as you can, because you want to hit that tie break on the after the box step ups. And then if you need to rest before the handstand push-ups, then rest, right? But at least you finish that as hard as you could, and then kind of play from there, right?
Yeah.
So moving on to the box, when you finish that, the first step up that I did, I was surprised. I knew it was going to be hard. I knew it was going to burn. But it was really hard. It was like, I stepped out the first time. I thought you heard me. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And you were like, just continue. It'll get better as you go. I feel like I was able to get into a rhythm, but the burn never went away. It stayed there, but you got to just say, okay, it'll be fine. You can step up. It's going to be a little challenging, but you can go through it, right? So I feel like that first step, it feels horrible on the first leg, first one rep on each leg. But then after that, just kind of suck it up, let it burn, and then you can go through it, right? And so how was the box step-ups for you?
Yeah, it was the same way. The first couple ones, I was like, oh no, I'm going to fail one of these. I'm going to trip up, right? But then once you kind of get the feel of it, a little bit of blood going back in your legs, I think, You get 5 or 6 under your belt and you get a little bit of a tempo going,
Yeah.
but it feels like a long time.
It does. It's a lot of reps. I remember when I hit the halfway mark, 25 reps. I was like, oh my God, I got on the 25. It feels like you're there forever.
Yeah.
You're there for a long time. Because I mean, how fast, you can try to go as fast as you can. You can probably pick up some time there, but there's step ups with the weight on. There's just so fast you can go. Like sometimes it felt like I was trying to speed up and I just couldn't go any faster. I'm pretty short, so for me, the 24-inch box, it's a little high, and I was like, no big deal. I have the strength. My legs are strong enough to be able to press no matter what, but I felt myself having a hard time to speed up through the step-ups.
Yeah, I can't think of a secret to that, right? Like,
How
what would I
did
do different or what might have made it easier? Nothing. You just got to know that the first few reps are hard.
Yeah.
Settle in and just keep going.
Now, what about holding the weight? How did you hold the weight?
By my head the whole time.
Yeah, I think that the girls at 19.3 and 9 were doing that, right?
Yeah.
It looked like they were switching it a little bit, but they started with their weight kind of on their back, and then you can hold it with one hand, let the other one rest. And I think that you got to figure out what's going to be best for you. And all depends too on if you're going to be able to complete that and move on to the next movement, right? So if you're going to get to the hints and push-ups and you have them, or maybe you want to get your first one of a few, then you got to try to figure out the way that it's going to let your shoulders rest the most, right? So I think that having one arm resting while the other one's working a little bit and kind of do the transition is going to be pretty important there if you're going to move on to the handstand push-ups. Now, if you know that you're just trying to get as far as you can on the step-ups, then hey, just whatever feels the most comfortable so you can move the fastest,
Yeah.
right?
I watched you doing that. I thought that was a good idea because I didn't let go of the dumbbell the whole time. I always had my hands up here.
Yeah.
And then when I kicked up onto the wall, I thought, ooh, they're already kind of tight. I could feel it, right? So in hindsight, I think maybe if you could hold it with just one and let one of your arms dangle down a little bit, and then maybe switch it off, maybe it helps you on the wall a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing.
That's pretty much it. I mean, the step-ups are going to be hard no matter what. Your quads are already on fire when you finish the lunges. So just push through it, go as hard as you can. Again, you wanna chase that tie break, and you want to try to finish it as fast as you can. No matter if you're going to move on to the handstand push or not, or maybe what I mean is no matter if you have them or not. You might not have them, but that tiebreak is going to be really important. And if you have them, right, you want to buy yourself as much time as possible to be able to get 1 or 2 reps, or even just rest before you try to do any repetitions, right? Yeah. Now, when we get to the wall, that's when the challenge starts. If you complete everything and you get to the wall, then it's gonna get really tough, right? So for me, I sucked at it. I was super disappointed on my handstand push-ups. I thought it was gonna be better. I'm not great at them, but I thought I was gonna be able to do better. I had a really hard time where I started doing singles at the end, and I was like just having a really hard time. I was trying to focus to not get any no reps, which I was able to, but it was really slow. I was literally going singles towards the end. You got some handstand push-ups too, and I think you were more efficient than me, even though you had less time. I think you were more efficient in terms of like putting them together and be able to link some reps together. How did it feel for you?
Yeah, I got to the wall. I think I had about 2.5 minutes left, and my plan was I'm going to try to come out of the gate with like 7 or 8, cut it down to 5s and then 3s. But that first round, or the first reps, it was 5s. I think it was 5, 5, 3, 3, 3.
That's exactly what happened. I started with 5, and I was like, I can do sit to 5. Right? I'll be able to do sit to 5 all the way through. Yeah. And I realized I did my first 5, and I was like, no way. There's no way. I had to start doing 3s after 2 sets to 5. And then I can't remember, I did a few sets of 3, and then after that 2s, and then singles eventually, and it was really hard.
Yeah. That's the hardest part of the workout, because when you redline or you fail, you're toast.
That's
like
right.
You got no choice.
It's kind of like the last workout with a toasted bar, right?
Yeah.
Like if they're gone, they're gone, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be smart. How you going to break those up?
Yeah.
And that's again back to like depending how you are. If you're good at them, then you might be able to do bigger sets. But most people are not going to be great at them, so you're probably going to stick to like small sets. Now, in terms of like positioning and your hands and everything, of course, the standards there. Following the standards, keeping your hands inside the square, right? Designated square and the standard of that measurement there. Your palms have to be in there. There's a big question in our gym about like how wide should I go? Should I go really wide to be able to show on that range of motion, or should I stick to my normal stand that I normally use? So I would say just play with it a little bit before you start the workout. I think that go on as wide as you possibly can. It's smart to be able to like show on that range of motion, so you can actually you don't have to press as far, right? But at the same time, if that feels really uncomfortable and you're going into an open workout, with a new feeling, that can throw you off a little bit too. So just kind of try them both. You try a few different ways, a few different distance, and then I think that if it feels okay to go wide, definitely go wide because it's going to show in the range of motion. If it's going to throw you off and you're like falling off the wall and you're getting no reps, definitely not. Stick to what you're used to, and then and do the best you can.
Yeah.
So handstand push-ups, super hard. Now we didn't get to the handstand walk.
No.
We were not able to get to
Which
the
I'm kind of bummed because I've been working so hard on that. I'm like, oh, good, here's my opportunity, right?
I think that we're pretty you've been working on that for a long time. You didn't really have them a while back, and you've been working on it. Now that you have it, okay, I want to get a few feet in, right? Like a few, maybe hopefully a length or two, whatever it is, right?
At least 5 or 10 feet, right?
Exactly, just to get there, so try to kick up and do the best you can.
Yeah.
Now, we were not able to get there, so we don't really know how it feels after the handstand push-ups. I assume it's going to feel pretty bad. It's almost going from the lunges to the box, right? Your hands are going to be fatigued. So I think that maybe taking your time to shake off for a second, give yourself a second before your last rep, so you don't fall on your face. It'll be pretty important. If you think that you're pretty efficient at those, you can go for it. Same thing as the lunges. I think you should kick up. As soon as you're there, see if you can go all the way through, right? Because as soon as you break in the middle, then you got to come back 5 feet and then start from there, right? And then you start kind of breaking them out more. It takes forever. So if you can finish at 25 feet, then take your break there. That'll be the best. That was my strategy. If I was getting there, I didn't, but that was what I would do. Yeah. I think that
I would guess maybe the top 1 or 2% of athletes even get to that.
After 50 handstand pushes, man. I mean, I can't remember what year it was. It was a few opens ago. There was a workout that we had handstand walk too. And I remember I got there.
With deadlifts,
Yeah, it was last year. I remember I got there. There was some sort of shoulder movement there. I can't think of it right now. But I remember that I got there and I went upside down and I fell on my face. I couldn't hold on myself there. So I had to like shake it off, come back. Okay, I realized what I did wrong. Shake it off and then go from there. So don't make that mistake. Take a little more break. Take your time. If you have the time on the clock, hey, 5 feet is better than no feet, right? So take a few more seconds so you don't fall on your first handstand walk. So
yeah. But what a great workout, man. I think this matched up really, really well with the first two.
It's deceiving because I think that when you look at it, the movements are simple, right?
Yeah.
Even though the weight is heavy, 50-pound dumbbell. If you're doing prescribed, 50-pound dumbbell, you can do it pretty well. You can move around. For ladies, 35-pound dumbbell, if they normally are used to do prescribed, it's something you can, it's doable, right? But I think that the way the workout is laid out and the way that you go back to back on those movements, it makes it way more challenging than you think.
200 feet's farther than you think.
Oh, it is.
To start with, right?
Definitely it is. So hopefully anything that we talked about helped you guys out a little bit. If you guys like this video, click like, subscribe to the channel, and then we'll see you guys on 19.4. Good luck. Peace.
Hit it hard.